Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unite Mike's Mayhem Season 3, Week number 2. Dupe Snacks is always Scooby Duo back at it again, and this broadcast is brought to you by Kinda Fit, Kinda Fat. Just like it was last week, it'll be like that every week moving forward for Season 3. Let's go. Finally, Zoink's wearing the merch. Of course, I've got my leading the wrong way.
I don't know if you can see the back or not.
Yes, it's beautiful. That's an awesome one. That's an awesome shirt. Okay,
So
so
good.
We have a bunch of teams, but before we get that, we of course have to plug Kinda Fit, Kinda Fat, obviously. Body positivity workout clothes that are phenomenal, super comfortable. Personally, the 60/40 blend t-shirts are my favorite. That's the one I go, and it's a brand I was wearing before they even decided to sponsor this. If you go back in the archives, you can see me wearing a Kinda Fit, Kinda Fat shirt back when we were casting the IX Noun Scrim at Worlds. So there you go. There's the big sleepy. I think that's
So
the one
good.
Zoinks is wearing right now. I
Mm-hmm.
actually just yesterday ordered the taco plate shirt.
Oh,
So
sick. That's
so
awesome.
I am all about this clothing, of course. It's great, fits wonderful up top. It's got room in the middle for your barrel, which is my body shape, and it makes me feel good to wear that type of stuff. Also, their shorts are kind of insane. Like I have the
Oh
cotton
my
shorts on
gosh.
right now, and those are kind of dope. So,
Yeah.
anyways, shout out to 60s with the raid, 13 people. But okay, all that to be said, if you check out their stuff and you like their stuff, use Unite Mics on checkout to get 10% off. And of course, what that does is hopefully they can track the metrics on that. It seems a little bit of proof in the pudding that it's worth spending more money into the competitive Unite scene, so we can keep doing stuff like this. And that's how all this is facilitated. So check them out at the very least. Please go to their website and look at their stuff just to give them some traffic. But that's enough out of that, Zoinks. We will be shilling all night long, so don't you worry about that. But Zoinks, let's talk about the 4 teams we got tonight for week 2.
You got it. So first up to start tonight's matches, we're going to have Amaterasu, your current record holders or maybe title holders in North America. They won the March
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Finals, an amazing squad of 5. Their opponents are going to be Dark Aura, a very strong squad as well as had very solid performances in all of the qualifiers, not quite making it to a top 8 this year yet, when they're looking to change that upcoming. And then on the other side of the bracket, the match that's going to be happening second is GT with Stockings filling in for their roster. I think they're
Mm-hmm.
playing the jungle role, could be playing attacker, I'm not too sure, and going up against Spinal. That's right, the team that knocked Luminosity Gaming out of the qualifiers. We have Spinal on the other side. So a absolutely rip-roaring squad of 4 teams. It's going to be some really good matches. Celestial and I were talking about it in the pre-show that happened before, just a few minutes ago. These are all 4 of these teams love team fighting and
Mm-hmm.
brawling the entire game. We're going to see a lot of teams decide to, approach the enemy squad, take the body instead of the objective, as it were. It's going to be a really, really exciting few games to watch.
Yeah, needless to say, they bout that action. Some
Mm-hmm.
things I'm excited particularly about this week. Of course, you mentioned Dark Aura is going to be a wonderful litmus test to them as they're trying to just kind of get into that top 8, have their first breakthrough moment. But of course, GT, we've got the Dom Toretto last ride here we got going on here for the GT squad. It is with a heavy heart that they are breaking up for amicably, from what we
Sure.
understand. But we're excited that they decided to stick around, and of
Mm-hmm.
course we get to see the absolute mutant on Eos Island. Stockings come through with all their amazing play. See if we can get some highlight reels out of them. So it's going to be an awesome week from bell to bell. I can't wait to get it underway. And you know I love team fights. Come on.
We
Come
both love them.
on.
I mean, they're a caster's dream come true, I think. But
True.
that being said, we have our first matchup, and the teams are getting set to go. So, Dupes, I believe you have a coin ready to flip to decide
I do.
sides of draft pick for this first game. Let's go Amaterasu as heads and Dark Aura as tails. So, can we get that coin flip in?
Okay. It is Tails.
All right, so Dark Aura is going to have choice of first or second pick in draft. Since they won the coin flip, after this first game, it will be losers' picks for the remainder of the best of 3. That's the format that we're using in United Max Mayhem. So what we did last week is what we're going to do this week and the 2 following weeks. So, as a reminder to everybody who is watching, United Max Mayhem is a a 4-week tournament series. We had Team YouTube taking it home last week.
Hmm.
And this week we are gonna have these 4 teams competing, 4 more brand new teams competing next week, and then the following week will be all of the winners from the 3 weeks previous and last season's winners, which is of course TTV. They are waiting patiently to see what opponents will be meeting there, but right now we know for a fact that it is TTV and Team YouTube are 2 members of this Final Four on March 29th. You gotta tune in March 29th. Obviously, you're catching every single Mayhem tournament event, but this final week is gonna be amazing. Some of the top Unite in all of North America. I can't wait, but tonight's matches are also gonna be amazing. Let's see who Team YouTube and TTV are gonna have to face off at the end of the month.
I mean, it's just an awesome structure. We're the coolest dudes ever, Zoinks. I mean, it
Correct,
goes
correct,
without
correct.
saying. I mean, what an awesome series. And getting so many top-notch teams out of NA for this season specifically. But, we had tons of South American teams for season 2, which was phenomenal as well. So we're really being able to bring in a lot of the top teams around the planet. So
Mhm.
there's nothing to scoff at on Wednesday night for Unite
That is
Mike's
true.
Mayhem.
Oh, and
For
we
those,
almost forgot Deuce Snacks.
yes, sir.
What are they winning? They're winning a chance to play in the finals, of course. They're also winning they're also winning $100 cash prize if they win tonight's tournament. So 2 best of 3s, you walk away with
Mhm.
$100 cash, provided, of course, by Kind of Fit, Kind of Fat, our sponsor for this tournament series. So there is things to compete for every single week. I
Mhm.
can't believe we didn't even mention the prize pool of tonight, but that is also on the table.
Yeah, and look, kind of fit, kind of fat is putting it on the line for us to see what we can do. Of
Mhm.
course, promote their brand, which I love so much, anyways. But also, if we do a good job getting support, here's one of the things. Everything costs something. Viewing is definitely free. However, if you want to keep the engine of the Unite, the grassroots Unite scene going, from time to time you gotta open the pocketbook. I'm not
True.
saying you have to do it for kind of fit kind of fat merch. I'm just saying if there's something at some point in time that you like that supports the grassroots stream, throw a couple bucks at it. It's going to help
Absolutely.
keep the engine running and allow us to keep doing this type of stuff. So our hope is this keeps doing well, we can bring kind of fit, kind of fat back on board, and maybe for season 4, the purse gets a little bit bigger for these weeks, and we can, get that excitement ball rolling a little bit further. Zoinks, definitely for only the people at home, tell us what the bans are for this event. The
uh,
globals, the globals.
yep, no problem. For only the people at home, because I know Deuce Snacks it knows for sure with a shadow of the doubt. The only Pokemon banned from tonight's tournament is going to be Zacian. It is banned for the AOS Cup qualifier, so we decided just to mimic that. We're going to be mimicking the UCS ban, so only Zacian is banned. Every other Pokemon that is in the game currently is available. If Gudra is available mid-tournament somehow by a random balance patch, it will not be allowed, in case there was any question.
Right out of the gate, Amaterasu taking Comfy. Comfy, which looked so amazing in the March finals for North America and looked so
Mhm.
miserable for the EU coming through here. But a great pick out of Dark Aura. Espeon has just leveled up in spades
Mm.
over the last month, Zoinks, and is one of the most powerful picks a team can have in the early goings.
Yeah, could not agree more. It honestly seems that it has outclassed even Mew, which originally I think this
Mhm.
Pokemon was thought of as the only competitor to Mew. Well, it has taken the top slot in lane. It's hard to lose lane with this Pokemon right now. Also a pretty big surprise. It was one of the most banned Pokemon last week, but Comfey was one of the least banned, most picked, but also boasted one of the worst win rates. Only a 16% win rate in last week's Unite Mike's Mayhem. So Comfey looking for a bit of a revenge run. Look for that top spot. But Gardevoir Espeon is the damage core so far for Dark Aura. Very strong, a lot of special attack damage, but a little bit of a late game scaling with lock on that Gardevoir. Glaceon is going to be that early game damage dealer that's really going to contest them before they're online.
Yeah, Miyoto's going to have to do the Lord's work with Dark Aura here. They're going to have to get so much spacing and so much protection down for this Gardevoir, for this Espeon. And that really goes on Smash and Miyoto to really protect that backline. It looks like they're going with a double defender strat here, which I love, especially because the
Mm.
tree's stacking, because it is so important for that Espeon and Gardevoir to have the opportunity to carry here. And as you can see from Amaterasu, they got some schmoovers on their side of the ball. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they'll be able to engage deep onto the Dark Aura squad. So, Burry, Myoto, Keebs, it's on you to keep Lock and Smash standing.
I love that too. A great adaptation. Seeing the enemy side of Amaterasu's draft, knowing we're going to need even more peel, and last picking Snorlax as a really good option towards that. Of course, Heavy Slam and Block always going to be an evergreen powerful pick in the Unite metagame, but when you're trying to protect your backline, leaping back in to help them and then blocking the enemy team away is going to be really strong. It's also going to make Yeet Fan's job a little bit harder on this Cramorant, one of the best burst damage and most slippery Pokemon in the game, especially when Comfey is around. Comfey Unite plus Cramorant Unite, low-key, one of the best combos that we have in the game so far. Also, we just, I'm so sorry, I just have to cut you off again, but the last thing, our first giveaway of the night is live in chat right now, so !join if you want a chance at winning a Zacian code. So go check that out. The message says 3 minutes. I forgot to correct that. It will be going for a total of 10 minutes. So you have 10 minutes to put !join in chat to try to win yourself a Zacian code.
I will say this, something that Dark Aura has right out of the gate is the Hollowware diff. I mean, they got three of the premium Hollowares going. That Elvis Trevenant is one of my personal favorites. Love to see it. Love to see it.
And we're referring to Dad Blood Snorlax in that trifecta. You right? It has to be top tier. It's at the top of my tier list. Absolutely. Here we go. Keeves and Smash holding down this bottom path. Now, Clefable, not normally known as a powerful laning Pokemon. It doesn't really bring that much value, not very much secure, but Noodle going all the way in towards this enemy goal zone, trusting the Comfey heals that JL will be able to provide to not have to worry about this early damage that Burry can produce. A lot of burst damage from Snorlax, but Noodle's able to withstand almost everything.
Yeah, clutch that Burry actually got that Bundle Beat in the face of the two players for Amaterasu. They're playing very far forward. That's what this is about. Snorlax is going to have to deny these, and that's not for their own experience. That's, of course, to prevent stacking. Burry 2 for 2, that's exactly where you want to be, and what that allowed to do is Myoto to get a couple stacks in for themselves. Looks like they were cut off from the Glaceon, couldn't get that last one in. They're still pocketing 5 there, but not a bad start for Dark Aura, and the score line reflects it 8-9. Zoinks.
Oh, no, it's taking us a compliment. An extremely good start for them so far. I mean, being able to shut that down. Snorlax already almost at level 5-4, and then some Myoto getting a few stacks and actually hits that evolution marker. Very important. Trainer only at level 5, did a very quick clear, only grabbing blue buff and 1 Baltoy, is now retreating to go grab yet the red buff and another Baltoy to catch up, but that means that the central area player for Dark Aura is going to be up on that Corellia as soon as they need to be available for the fight.
The Wood Hammer is open, unlocked. They're putting some pressure on here. Comfy hula hooping around the Scyther. They're going to be taking a ride around here. Roland holding tough here. There's what was one of the first picks consecutively last week. Looks like Slowbro fell down a little bit on the tiers because there's other important stuff to take now.
Yeah, that is very true.
No.
Cramorant, though, surging in. I believe that's a Surf Cram, if I am seeing it correctly, unless I'm making a mistake. But it did look like Surf Cram to me.
Well, Roland is definitely surfing. They're hanging 10. They're trying to get in there and pop
what I'm
some members of Dark Aura there. Listen, if there's a Cramorant on the map, that's where the real excitement is. We've got a couple Wood Hammers coming through. Trainer at about half HP, but this is not going to last too long as that icy wind find its mark and it's getting chilly for the tree. The frost chewing up the roots.
Great call by Amaterasu to fight that Trevenant, though. It is an early power spiking Pokemon. It can hold you down really tough situations, but the spread out gameplay of playing from both the front and the back against that Pokemon, not allowing both of you to get knocked up in the Wood Hammer stunts, is just great micro play. It's one of the best ways to play against a power pick like Trevenant right now. Just, you got to stay out of that Wood Hammer range, which is gigantic, but play spread and play range damage, and you'll have a good shot.
Without a doubt, Dark Aura with an early rotation here. Gardevoir is going to be pulling up. They're going to be set up for this basement Reggie if they really want it. Burry, again, able to secure some of the wild Pokemon on the side of Amaterasu, which is a great start. Good old Keeves getting chunked up early is not a good sight, though. They do catch 2. They're pushed far forward, and the Clefable's down. Holy smokes. And so is Burry. They absolutely slaughtered him. What is this Cramorant on? It's not even the Cowboy Cram. It's Chef Cram, and they cooked up. No way! Registeel clutched out Zoinks by Locke. What a look by Dark Aura, is that's going to give them a good opportunity. Glaceon Unite comes out, and they're trying to find their mark. They're reeling back a little bit, and that Cramorant wants to score their points in a big way. But guess who's there? Big body Burry getting it done, blocking the goal zone, and it stands.
I see. Okay, also, Cram is Surf. I am proven correct. The Heat fan is going Surf Cram. Log with that shot. We normally call that one from downtown. It looked like it was from the suburbs, for crying out loud. That was from a enemy goal zone. Miyoto with the second trigger of Woodhammer, able to lock up JL, but JL playing this one extremely safe. Playing far out, has to retreat back up to Nudo to see if they can give him a little bit of a boost. Regieleki, not really the target of either, but a very slow scoring game, thanks to the early pressure of Dark Order's top path, that Nudo can't really pressure the Regieleki, as it's not going to find a lot of value even when it does hit that goal zone.
The birds are up. That's a deep engage of the Scyther, and they're pushing forward the Glaceon as well. Those Icy Winds just do so much damage. They're pocketing in, and with the Comfy, JL's going to allow this to just keep going and going. There's the Trevenant Unite. They're going to see what they can leverage on that, but no, it's JL scoring their points, and as they pick up the berries, but they're getting so low. Miyoto is trying to hold it down. That is Flower Fields forever, and that is a KO on the tree.
They bought enough time, though. Great work by Miyoto to hold back, and a Hyper Beam from Keeves. A great roll off the Unite move. Is able to knock out one. JL goes down. A Fairy Singularity spreads out the team. They take a little bit too much damage from Trainer, though. And Nudo, not worse for wear, is going to be able to score back in their face. Trainer doesn't get there 40, but a goal zone is broken, and Regieleki is going to be the next target.
Yeah, Yifan really schmoving. Oh, Unite comes out just in time to not get KO'd by the Heavy Slam, but of course it's the Snorlax Unite back the other way that seals that up, and that is a Slowbro trying to get locked down here with the block, but they step on the goal pad, a little amnesia to forget all the pain they just took, and they're back in the action. Espeon chipping in, Smash trying to do some damage, but I mean, that Comfy's down there on the Slowbro. That's a tall order to KO.
Yeah, it really is. Hornleech, a really solid answer to the Scyther. Scyther hates being locked up by crowd control for that long of a time. Roland surfs into the enemy. Gravity not going to be providing any value against that one, but JL's little hop-off score moments have been going on all game long, and they're working extremely well. Regieleki meets that tier 2, and Amaterasu lets their score lead skyrocket.
It's skyrocket indeed. Dark Order needs to make some magic happen. They need to find a KO here, get some more experience. That's a big time Espeon Unite, catching 2 from Amaterasu. Dark Order going to be able to push forward on that. Can they get a KO on the Cram? They do finally. Gardevoir gets credit. That's locked. They're moving forward. Glaceon Icy when Trevenant Unite comes out. Nudo's so low. That's another KO for them. Huge surf coming through by Roland. They chip up 3, but it's 3 players now for Amaterasu. Make it 4. Cramorant back in the mix. That's just because they just popped off spawn. But look how far out Trainer is. They get a KO on Bury, but Smash is trying to close the door. They get stitched the other way. Are you kidding me? And the chase is on Trainer. No way they get to sustain through this. That is wild, Zoinks.
Trainer is level 14 now. This is absurd. Real boss villain and mentality. Yeetfan was the level 11. You knocked him out, but immediately having to go up against Trainer next up. Ridiculous. Slowbro gonna secure that one. Roland finds a way in to get that objective, and Amaterasu takes this fight all the way to that tier 1 goal zone.
Nudo Unite comes through, gets a couple KOs. Glaceon short source out the other. I saw in chat Slaceon. That's an understatement. Holy smokes. They're bearing him 6 feet under. It's wild out here. Dark Aura needs to find their footing and quick. And they need to get tons of experience. Look at all the wild Pokemon on the map for Dark Aura. They need to not engage with this other team, and they need to try and take as much of that as they can.
Yeah, Luck currently doesn't have a Unite move. They do have a full minute. They'll have that one up in no time, but that does mean they are going to need the lion's share of the experience. You also really want that Gardevoir at the level 13 breakpoint. Bury can get away with just 11 or 12 on the Snorlax, but Miyoto at 12 is a pretty good spot. All things considered, the Trevenant has been doing all right in terms of experience. Not getting caught by the Surf Cram. Good call. You do not want to get that much closer to Yeetfan's Cramorant.
Trainer able to chunk Bury with those Icy Winds at about 40%. I can't even imagine what that would do on a different character for Dark Aura. Trainer is absolutely massive right now. Even the Trevenant getting shredded to 50 HP, and they're just using their skill shots here. They're just darting back and forth. A little bit of Icy Wing, a little bit of dive here, gets pumped that back up. Regieleki getting worked on. It's Amaterasu that's going to be able to position here. Bury kind of goes in and actually uses their eject button to back out there off the block, but Roland comes in with a big engage. 2 serves coming back the other way. Trainer cuts him off. Unite move is there. This is the fight they want. They're pushing forward. Can they find a KO? They do. Espeon's down, and that's a great one to target. They're coming back through. Trevenant Unite, Flower Fields forever in the middle. They're working back through, though, and they're bubbled up. Can they convert on this? 2 players down for Dark, and they're trying to get it done here. Huge heavy slam, but no, it's the Scyther coming through, getting the KOs. The Woodhammers are falling, but they aren't hitting any nails out here, as it's just Miyoto in the face of Nudo, and Nudo with Comfy is mean. Give him a KO streak of 3. Trainer just auto-attacking in. Yeetfan hanging out, and I need a breath. Zoinks, what just happened?
Absolute evisceration, level 14s and 15s across the board. So much damage incoming that the bulk of the front line of Dark Aura couldn't even get into the fight because they were taking too much poke damage, like you were calling out. Shout out to Miyoto for getting a 5-person Woodhammer stun. That looked clean, but unfortunately, at that time, there was no real damage members from Dark Aura to capitalize upon it. Now, Amaterasu picked up that huge endgame objective of the Rayquaza, dunked only one Hundo Burger so far, but they got a minute, they got shields, and, well, they're taking the body, like we called out.
Yeah, 3 players down for Dark Aura. Amaterasu keeps pushing. I mean, those wood hammers might have caught 5, but they're using those inflatable hammers from a carnival. You might get bonked, but you ain't going nowhere. They're getting stitched with weapons out here. Amaterasu's bringing to the table. Dark Aura 4 down. Are they going to get a 5-pack here just to close the door on it? A bold Clefable Unite gets blocked, and that's not exactly what you want to see there as they keep raining in more points.
Yeah, Dark Aura drafted an extremely bulky composition to try to deal with the Scyther and even the Cramorant cutting down that value. I think that's probably why Yifan decided to go with Surf to just try to counteract all the big bodies, but in the end, it was the Glaceon that was truly the problem. The poke damage, too much for them to overcome. Trainer getting to level 13, 14 way too quickly in this matchup, and unfortunately for Dark Aura, Amaterasu is your March Finals winners for a reason, and they are currently up 1-0 in our series.
Yeah, that was cruising. So for Dark Aura, they had a great composition. I really did like their composition. I just don't think the execution was necessarily there. I think in the early stages of the game, obviously, you kind of have to be able to hold your own path, right? That goes without saying. But I really wanted to see Dark Aura engaging more as a team because you are so dependent on the damage from Smash and Lock. You cannot have them going down. You just can't. It just can't happen. So you really need to turtle up, kind of form a Roman phalanx around them and really protect them from anything that could be hurtled their way.
Yeah, I completely agree. Let's see some of these. Trainer with 16 knockouts, Nudo with 10. Yeah, absolutely absurd work from them. Trainer just truly one of the best jungle players we have in North America, and they showcase it again and again. 163,000 damage. Absolutely absurd red bar numbers from that player. Keep in mind, of course, they are going up against a triple tank composition. These numbers are going to look good, but dang, does that look good. Trainer with some crazy numbers in game number 1.
Yeah, I'm going to use one word to describe that. Beef. Holy smokes, that is huge. So, you mentioned it, of course. Tons of big, heavy bodies in front. You can really get those damage numbers up. However, and something you have to give credit to Amaterasu for is, yeah, they knew who the targets were. That's one thing that's unique or not so unique about a composition like Dark Aura put together. It was very easy to identify who they needed to take out first. Like, it becomes evident, right? So if they can really just form a fissure in the defensive wall and just pound through it, it doesn't matter if you get KO'd 1 on your side. If you're taking out Smash and Lock, then it just doesn't matter anymore because everybody else that you've got on your side is chucking bombs. So after that, it kind of becomes rudimentary. So Dark Aura, I really like their composition. I think the execution was just a hair off, but I like what their head's at. I think that was a really reasonable approach.
Yeah, I agree. And like we both said, we like the composition into the answers that Amaterasu was bringing. They are on paper there for sure, but I don't know. I think realistically, you might have to drop one of these tankier support Pokemon, find another damage core to try to match fire with fire at some point. Not too sure, but credit to Amaterasu with some really strong, powerful maneuvers in lane. Outlaning Espeon a little bit there is definitely a strong credit to their squad. I mean, we mentioned they are the March Finals, and they also are so hungry for competition. Amaterasu is one of those teams where I reached out to a lot of the top teams and said, hey, we're running Unite Mix Mayhem again. Would you like to play? Do any of these dates work? And Yeet fans straight up told me, we would like to play in all of them. Obviously, I can't allow that, but hey, credit to the player for absolutely wanting the smoke every single week. It is so ridiculous. I really do think that this team is ready to play. On the pre-show, Celestial actually called them their pick for the best team in North America right now. And I mean,
Okay.
they got the tournament win to prove it. I think
Mhm.
some people are still holding back a few question marks on it, but they prove it again and again, Deuce Next, and I think doubt is getting erased from everybody's mind with every tournament win this team picks up.
The team is one of the few that consistently looks like they've leveled up from the last time you've seen them play.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it was one day, doesn't matter if it was 1 month, 1 year. It's just every single time you see them is a big step forward, and they are looking very, very solid. When you have a player like JL, for example, in your support, and you can first pick to really unlock their potential. I mean, you can give JL Comfy, but you can also, like, you can't cut off JL either from any amazing support Pokemon, right? Because their Hoopa
Right.
is just absolutely nasty too. And as the Pokemon I think most people would know JL from if they've been kind of keeping track historically of the Pokemon Unite competitive scene.
Or
And the fact,
Sableye. Like there's
yeah,
there's a
true,
few
true.
good ones, right? Like,
I
oh,
mean, they've got some great picks, and I mean, we know what's awesome about Amaterasu is you can't ban them out because they all go so deep, and they also are more willing to flex away from things that you might anticipate them to take. Dark Aura banning Comfy, they do not want that action at
mm-hmm.
all. But what does that do for Amaterasu here? Looks like they're going to be able to lock in Slowbro, which has been one of the first picks we've had going.
That makes sense to me. Last ban we saw from Dark Aura was Urshifu, and so now that Pokemon is available, Slowbro's a really solid answer to that Pokemon. So first picking Slowbro just ensures that Urshifu is going to have a tougher time. Being said, Dark Aura is still going to lock it in, trusting in the power that it has, and we're going to see a repeat Trevenant pick from Dark Aura. Miyoto's Trevenant truly was, to me, a shining star on this roster last time, even though they did get the game loss, so I'm excited to see that again, but Roland Slowbro is ridiculous. Deuce Next. I think it is so good. One of the most consistent players that we have in the game right now. On a team full of like pop-off players that sometimes could be considered feast or famine, but most times are just crazy going off the walls. Roland seems to be kind of the rock in the storm that Amaterasu relies on.
Oh, that goes without saying. I mean, Roland, as you mentioned, their Slowbro's nasty, but something that you have to just keep in mind is Slowbro isn't necessarily the best defender across the board. They're just the most malleable one that can play well into so many other compositions, which
Yeah.
is a phenomenal place to be. So much so that the versatility it provides is worth a first pick from Amaterasu's side. And look at that team they've just cobbled together. I mean, we're going to see Trainers Greninja this time
Let's
around, and you
go.
know I love to watch that.
Trainers Greninja is truly a shout out to Release Unite, by the way. The best Greninja in North America, no questions in my mind. I'm excited to see this Pokemon back. Now, Dark Aura last drafting Sableye is very interesting, but I think the one that's jumping off the page to me, Dubes Next, is JL actually going for the Blissey here. A Pokemon that is very strong. No discredit to that Pokemon, but just seems to have been power crept by some other selections. What are your thoughts on the Blissey in this team composition they're currently running?
Well, I mean, Safeguard looks pretty reasonable to me right
Yeah,
now.
okay, that's true.
So if you're trying to unlock Trainer to go in, I mean, heck, you got it right there. I mean,
Yeah.
you just have Blissey come in. You have your very clear Bliss Assistance target. As soon as Trainer maybe goes in with a Water Shoryuken, the big Unite move that Trainer has. I mean, that's it. It seems kind of straightforward what they're going to be trying to be doing to
Yeah.
me at least
No,
is JL's just make hopping in Trainer's car and be like, all right, let's go for a ride, Chief. Let's get it done for the squad. And the fact
Yeah.
that like you have to deal with that in your face, but also Nudo can have that crazy Scyther engage is nuts as well.
Yeah, I mean, Scyther and Greninja run full heal for a reason. As their battle item, Blissey just has a 6-second cooldown on their full heal for their teammates. So I think just doubling down on that strategy is a really good point, Dubes Next. You want that safeguard on your glass cannon damage carries like Greninja and Scyther are going to be. Now, Locke is on the Glaceon this time. We're playing Gardevoir last game. We're going to see a bit of a swap. Yeetfan taking jungle on the Gardevoir, where last game we saw Locke play that one. I love the Glaceon right now. I think it plays into a lot of good power picks. Specifically, I think it plays really well into both Scyther and Greninja. What Amaterasu is going to need to do is make sure they unlock that Glaceon passive first, and then double down and try to get that knockout.
Look at that. A quick little steal of the buff going to keep them off of their next level. That poor Ralt is just trying to get a curlier, but that's going to allow Keebs to keep crushing through and try and steal more experience and buffs from this Amaterasu squad. And that's exactly where Dark Aura wants to be. That's exactly what you want your Sableye doing. And Keebs is delivering. Didn't quite get that one, but they got the red buff, which is one of the stronger ones in the early parts of the game.
Definitely. And I think the most important thing here is we don't have a Corellia or a Psyshock at that first engage when Yeet actually joins the path. So fantastic work there. Gardevoir probably one of the best Pokemon to invade against. I think it's a huge strength of that Sableye last pick. Going second in Pokemon Unite draft mode gives you that final pick. You can really put a lot of counter Pokemon or counter a bull Pokemon in that last pack. I'm looking at you, Tyranitar, but Sableye, a great answer to that question as well.
Nudo going pretty deep. They've got a decent engage here. They might be able to get a KO. Icy Wind sorts it out. That is the strength of Icy Wind. It is a sure thing, sure shot, and it's got good range. And now the Blissey's forced to retreat a little bit, saying, might be overstaying my welcome here. That about half HP, but Dark Aura lets them off the hook. They peel back. They're content with their big-time KO on Nudo and their share of the birds in the middle.
And interesting, we're actually seeing Miyoto on the Urshifu this time. They swap those roles, and we're going to see Bury on the Trevenant. So the defender player locking in one of the strongest defenders in the game. They get that evolution, and the iframes to boot. Nuno not doing any damage in that situation, actually taking half of their HP from a Wicked Blow.
Oh man, the Wood Hammer almost comes through. I thought they were going to get the KO on JL, but the patience there is actually pretty impressive. They're trying to cut off Nudo. That's the actual target they want. Big Wood Hammer as the Scyther dives through and dodges. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. They got it done. They got out of dodge, and they are still standing. That is me saying dodge 17 times in one sentence. Bang. Done.
I'm very impressed. You did it so incredibly well. Locke actually finds Trainer. Trainer trying to use the smoke screen, forget invisible, and then find the bush to lose vision. But the entire time they get tracked down. Great heads up play by Locke, but they are going to have to use a Unite move to escape Ethan. Psyshock. This is a crazy early fight. Dark Aura and Amaterasu, they love that action. They are about it. Dupes next.
Yeah, and this Glaceon looks very strong. Locke playing very far forward. Sableye getting a KO is huge. Rolling engage on the big-time Surf. They're going to see if they can get spacing, but it's Trainer time. Trainer has the opportunity to get a ton of KOs, tons of experience here. The Trevenant's caught on the backside. Bury is trying to hold it down. Big Surf comes through. Slowbro gets that one, but they are just laying in shots as the EV tandem there. Glaceon and Espeon getting it done, getting back to their goal zone, not getting KO'd is huge there, Zoinks.
And even despite Miyoto hanging out in top path, they're actually winning both of these engagements. Keeps is going to be going into this fight very low HP, but Sableye with that Invis is not too worried about it. No level 9 for Trainer, but Gardevoir can knock out Yifan, starts this one off strong.
Yeah, that's exactly where they'll be as they're pushing forward. The Wood Hammer comes through. Dark Aura is just chucking the kitchen sink at it, but no, it's the Gardevoir that seals it up, and the push is happening. KO streak of 2, and Dark Aura is looking frail from a point of strength that we just saw. Big time engaged by the Glaceon there, trying to sort out Trainer, but Trainer's fine with retreating. They are looking to break this goal zone in a big way. Plus 34, everybody's standing there for the friendship. Make it 35. Make it 36. Come on, Yeet, just get the points in and get the schmoovin'. Bang, it's finally gone.
A nice little overdunk there, but this match a little bit closer. But Dark Aura losing that team fight is definitely concerning. They had that early game advantage, that Reggie going the other direction, and Yeetfan popping off with a KO streak of 3 is a big concern for the late game fights. Dark Aura's going to need to do it yet again. Trainer spotted out, the engage is there, Bliss assistance, and a Trainer engage on the other side. Unite moves from Yeetfan and Trainer as they charge forward. The Bury there, the last one to keep fighting. Unfortunately, brought down the turn
Zoinks.
and burn.
Zoinks. My crystal ball is crystal clean. That's exactly what I said they were going to do. JL Unite coming through. Blitz assistance looking huge. And then the big water Shoryuken coming through, getting 2 KOs, and they're schmooving through. Nudo pulled up for the smoke, get a third one. And now Amaterasu get themselves a Regieleki and close out the goal zone and another KO. This team is heating up is an absolute understatement. Trevenant Unite is not going to do squat in the face of this team. As that thing hits, the KO happens anyways, and the points are open to be rained in.
Amaterasu scoring at a second-tier goal zone is the source of nightmares, but it also feels like it's just the highlight reel that's constantly playing on the Unite Esports Twitter. Amaterasu, they love this gameplay. Win that team fight in top by whatever means necessary. Earn that Regieleki and send it to 2. Amaterasu, very aggressive in terms of scoreline compared to a lot of teams. They'll open up those lanes against teams, let them get that experience. They don't care. They want that advantage in that final game. It's truly become a defining characteristic of this squad.
And don't forget, Fan didn't even get a full rotation in the central, right? Because the Sableye came over and was just kind of causing static. But they found it in a big way. Roland goes down. Focus fired by Dark Aura. That's who they wanted. They got them. But that's that basement Reggie is on the map. And it's time for Amaterasu to try and figure out where they want to do work. Dark Aura wants the objective. Amaterasu wants the smoke. They go in. Glaceon is down. Greninja's looking mean. They're coming through. Espeon Unite catches one. JL still stands, though. Oh, Yeet Fan's deep, and they're caught on the backside. They try to sort it out with their Unite, but it doesn't happen. It's all up to the rest of the squad. It's Nudo trying to carry the team here. There's 3 players down for Amaterasu, and they're trying to convert. Roland, can they get one? A couple chip shots on Smash, they do. Dark Aura is doing nothing but trying to figure out how they're going to get this objective in the face of Roland here. Roland doing a great job buying time for the rest of the team to pull up and look at them. They're all coming off respawn here. They're going to make it, and this Regirock might even reset.
And we have a Scyther Unite and a Blissey Unite, so they are looking very strong. There's the Blissey, and Greninja is going to secure it with a nice crit onto the Regirock. The team fight rages on. A Yeet Fan is firing from range, completely free of the enemy damage, sorting out the squad. Amaterasu is there for the backup. Roland does go down early on in that team fight, but they buy enough time for the backup, and Amaterasu is there for the refight.
That wasn't a refight, Zoinks. That was something else. That is not safe to be spoken over a Pokemon broadcast. That was brutal. Dark Aura really needs to focus on these wild Pokemon. This is exactly what I said at the same time in Game 1. Dark Aura, for some reason, I know they love taking the body. I know they about that action, but holy smokes, they need to take some levels. I mean, the amount of wild Pokemon that was on their side of the map when they went back down to get rinsed 4 players for 0 would have been much better spent just getting their wild Pokemon and maybe even focusing on this Regieleki a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. Snowcloak down. We have the Greninja making it away. Safeguard preventing the fear from Sableye randomly, but actually a nice little spot shot by Yeet Fan. Finds an initial KO. Regieleki brought down to very low HP.
I mean, pot shot from a howitzer is still going to leave a hole in your chest, Zoinks, and that's exactly what that did, is that team is moving together. And if Dark Aura is about to smoke, Amaterasu is a smoke machine because they are bringing it in spades. Holy. 2:15 left. Rayquaza about to hit the map, and Amaterasu in firm control of this one.
No chance of Regieleki actually hitting the goal zone, but what it did buy was real estate in that central area. Amaterasu having everything they could have wanted and more in terms of landscape. They have complete control of the Rayquaza pit, and it's actually allowing Trainer and Roland to head and get some wild Pokemon to try to get their Unites back up. Bliss assistance is available. Dark Aura actually playing a really interesting top flank around the back path. Locke going and trying to get a red buff, get some more experience, but also probably threaten a little bit of back cap or even a nice flank. I like this play from Dark Aura, but Amaterasu is stacked up together.
Oh, yeah. Keeves looking to get caught out, and they get chip shot. They are down to about 20%, and the chase is on. They actually make it out. Dark Aura, though, I would have loved to see Bury reset. I don't know what they were doing. I don't think they got that much experience there, but they definitely need that Trevenant's HP if Dark Aura is going to be able to sustain in the face of all the damage that's going to be chucked at this squad. Dark Aura postured pretty well, though. Amaterasu kind of bubbled up. They're waiting for anyone from Dark Aura to step out of that brush, and they're going to catch the smoke for sure. Glaceon is the first one to come through. They're going to see if they can bait anybody out. Bury being at half HP looks brutal. There's 3 Unite moves just coming out all at once. Who's going to catch the KOs? I think it's going to be Dark Aura. First player down is the Espeon. They're moving far forward. They have a huge lead. Can they keep the pressure on? Bliss assists on Greninja. Of course, we called it KO streak of 2. That's 4 that are down right straight from 2 to 4. Trainer gets 3, and it's Keeves that are just going to remain invisible and see what they can do. Can they catch a couple with their Unite moves maybe? Maybe catch a 4-player reset? No, they don't even engage. They're going to get KO'd. They're going to get rinsed here, and they're just chucking all the damage. Dark Aura on the last gasp here. Amaterasu looks formidable.
Really strong early game again from Dark Aura, but the late game Amaterasu just absolutely taking over this matchup. I mean, I respect Dark Aura's decision to not try to engage around that fight. You have all the secure in the world. You got Espeon, you got Wicked Blow. Heck, you even have Sableye Confuse Ray for some of the memes, but it is not happening today. Trainer just highlight reel numbers, wants that 170k in this next game as they pick up a KO streak of 3 into garbage time, but Amaterasu winning this matchup 2-0.
That is without a doubt. On the side of Dark Aura here, obviously are working on, and I like that they keep showing up for Unite Mike's Mayhem, because this is getting the opportunity to play some of the best teams on the planet,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you get better. You hear the stories of old Smash pros that were like, yeah, they would just go money match the best players in there just to lose $10, but just so they could play and learn. And that's exactly what Dark Aura is doing. They are learning not by grinding the ladder for a bazillion hours, they're probably doing that too, but scrimming and then getting into matchups like this. So Dark Aura, this is nothing but a positive experience for them. Yes, the scoreboard looks a little wonky, but you're facing your March Finals champions here.
True.
So what a great crop and a lot of good things to take out of this. Bury specifically, I mean, Lock and Smash were moving in for a couple minutes there in the early parts of the game. Really
Mm-hmm.
looked like they had things under control without a doubt.
Yeah, incredible gameplay there from Amaterasu getting the 2-0 win, but you're right, Dark Aura can walk away with some things to learn about for next season of Unite Mike's Mayhem whenever that happens. But for tonight, Dark Aura will be headed home. Amaterasu going to our winners game later on in the evening. They are going to be playing against the opponent who is going to win the next matchup between Spinal and GT. It's going to be an amazing game. We'll be right back after this.